These are the best new woodworking tools you can buy right now. From innovative power tools to smart workshop upgrades, these latest releases are helping woodworkers work faster, safer, and more accurately than ever before. In this video, we'll show you which tools are truly worth your money. We've included links to everything featured in the description below. Let's get started.
Template for this jig.
Figured out a really cool jig.
So we need some kind of a jig to hold everything.
Build the jig yourself.
If you're tired of every project starting with building a jig, before you can build your project, you're ready for Woodpecker's new Joinery Sled. The Joinery Sled uses the miter gauge slot of your table saw or router table to guide a rock-solid work table past your blade or bit. Woodpecker's patent-pending leaf spring miter bar compensates for miter slots that are poorly machined or heavily worn. The base of the sled that attaches to the miter bar has 5.5 inches of adjustment to position the work table where you need it. The sliding base that supports the work table has an additional 3.5 inches of adjustment. If you're using most of that adjustment space, you'll find spacers under the sliding table with adjustable nylon pads. Just screw them down until they contact your machine table, and any rocking is eliminated. The connection between the sliding base and the sub-base is where the real magic of the Joinery Sled starts. 4 bearings keep the sliding base perfectly parallel to the sub-base. The bearings are protected from shavings by access doors. But the smooth movement is only half the story of the sliding base. Lock the black knobs, leave the red knobs loose, and use the micro adjuster to dial in the perfect position of the work table. The work table adjusts to any angle between 44 and 91 degrees. Great for long miter cuts that simply are not possible with a table saw or miter saw. The work table has track clamp grooves that accept our pivot clamps and standard track clamps. The fence adjusts for angle as well as the table. The Joinery Sled is equally at home on your router table or table saw. Cut half laps on either machine. Create flawless sliding dovetails on your router table. Knock out bridle joints with speed and precision. Tackle complicated things like castle joints, and so much more. The Joinery Sled comes complete with 2 of our pivot clamps, a sacrificial fence, and a wall-mountable rack to keep your Joinery Sled right in plain sight and ready for work. Like all Woodpeckers products, the Joinery Sled is precisely machined and carefully inspected right here in Strongsville, Ohio. Dial in joinery perfection on your table saw and router table with Woodpecker's new Joinery Sled. Order yours today.
The Drawer Slide Jig from Kreg makes it easier than you've ever imagined to build projects with drawers, which means you can create projects you might have only dreamed of before. That's because the Drawer Slide Jig takes the guesswork and uncertainty out of installing drawer slides and makes it easier for anyone to install drawers that fit right and glide smoothly every time. The Drawer Slide Jig does this by securely supporting the slide in the exact position needed as you install them in the cabinet. Plus, the jig supports the drawer boxes as well to ensure that the slides get installed on them with perfect alignment too. Whether you're installing drawers in a cabinet with face frames or in a cabinet or piece of furniture without frames, the versatile Drawer Slide Jig clamps in place easily, and the jig works with ball bearing, epoxy coated, and undermount slides. Using the Drawer Slide Jig couldn't be simpler. Built-in tabs register the jig's brackets in place precisely. Just align the tabs with the face frame and then clamp the bracket in place. This positions the bracket exactly where you needed to place the jig at the right height and does it without measuring, ensuring foolproof, level positioning of the slide. On frameless cabinets and cases, the process is still simple. The brackets register against the front edge of the cabinet and clamp in place at the layout line, sitting straight and level every time. Once clamped in place, the jig's brackets support the drawer slide completely, providing that third hand you've always needed to hold the slides in place. No matter how big or heavy the slide, the Drawer Slide Jig holds it in straight and level, so you have both hands free to drive in the screws. And the Drawer Slide Jig doesn't stop there. After all, the job isn't complete until the drawer box itself is aligned and installed. That's why the jig's brackets are reversible, so they can be mounted to protrude out of the cabinet and hold that drawer box in the exact right position. That allows you to set the drawer box on the brackets and then pull the slides into position. The sturdy brackets hold everything in place as you drive in the mounting screws. With the Kreg Drawer Slide Jig, you'll have the confidence you need to take your projects to the next level and create custom pieces with drawers, because you'll know that you can create drawers that look great, fit correctly, and work right. For more information about the Drawer Slide Jig and the rest of our hardware installation solutions, visit us online at kregtool.com.
For building projects with adjustable shelving, the Milescraft CabinetMate is the perfect tool to help you drill accurately aligned shelf pin holes consistently time and time again. The Milescraft CabinetMate Model 1316 comes complete with a 1/4 inch self-centering spring-loaded shelf pin bit, and the Milescraft CabinetMate Model 1366 comes with a 5mm version. And both the CabinetMate models 1316 and 1366 include a 1/4 inch and 5mm indexing pin for accurate alignment of holes on longer shelving sides. Both CabinetMate models have a built-in storage compartment for storing the shelf pin bits and index pins, and also comes complete with pre-marked hole locations on the body to assist you with laying out locations for concealed hinges and other cabinet hardware quickly and easily on your projects. The Milescraft CabinetMate allows you to drill up to 11 holes at a time, centered either 1 7/16 of an inch or 2 1/2 inch distance from the edge without having to readjust its location. Once you've drilled the first hole, insert the appropriate size indexing pin to hold the body of the CabinetMate in position, then proceed to drill the remaining holes. If you need to drill more than 11 holes in a row, insert the index pin in the last hole to align the body of the CabinetMate in its new position, and then continue drilling the necessary set of holes for your project. The Milescraft CabinetMate can be used at different stages of your project's construction, but regardless of which setup your project requires, the included self-centering, spring-loaded shelf pin bit ensures you'll get precisely drilled holes thanks to their preset tension and depth stop. When you're ready to drill matching shelf pin holes parallel to the first set, simply reorient the CabinetMate to the other side. When drilling holes prior to assembly of your project, it's easy to align the body of the CabinetMate against the edge of the shelf side by orienting the storage cabinet so it's facing down and resting against the edge, and then drilling your shelf pin holes. Because the holes on the body of the CabinetMate are designed symmetrical down its length, it doesn't matter which end you start with. Once they're aligned with their adjacent mating shelf pin holes, they'll match up perfectly every time. And to assist you with the proper alignment, the edge of the CabinetMate body includes an alignment notch perfectly centered for each hole on the body. To line them up parallel with the first set of holes, draw a line across your board where the first set of holes are to be drilled, and then reference this when setting up for your second set of holes. Once it's in place, repeat the drilling process as before. For assembled projects with either an attached back or face frame, simply press the flat edge of the CabinetMate body against the interior surface, align it for the correct starting position, and drill your shelf pin holes as needed on both sides. The Milescraft CabinetMate also comes with pre-marked holes that make installing 26mm and 35mm concealed hinges quick and easy every time. To lay out the location of the hinge body on the interior of the cabinet, position the CabinetMate in the cabinet opening. Then mark the screw locations of the first set of hinges by using the spring-loaded shelf pin bit to dimple the surface in 2 of the shelf pin alignment holes located 1 7/16 of an inch in from the edge. When using 26mm concealed hinges, mark the location of the hinge cup using the 16.5mm hole. For 35mm concealed hinges, use the 22.5mm hole location. Then once you have the location marked, drill to the required depth and install the hinge following the manufacturer's recommendations. The Milescraft CabinetMate is the perfect tool for adjustable shelf and cabinet hardware layout every time.
Mounting a router and a router table increases control, safety, and setup reliability, but table mounting can make it more challenging to set your bit's cutting depth and to change bits. The Kreg Precision Router Lift overcomes those challenges by allowing you to control all aspects of your router setup from above the table instead of having to reach underneath. Plus, the Precision Router Lift is packed with features that ensure you'll get the quick, accurate, reliable, and repeatable setups you need to get high-quality routing results. You'll appreciate those features from the moment you mount your router in the lift. Just position the clamp blocks on the heavy-duty router carriage to match your router, slide the router in, and then tighten a locking bolt on the carriage. The Precision Router Lift accepts 20+ popular router models just that easily, without modification or the need to purchase additional adapters. Installing router bits is incredibly easy with the Precision Router Lift 2. Instead of having to reach under the table or remove the router from the table entirely, you can simply raise the router up to access the collet from above the table. This dramatically reduces the time and hassle of changing bits, so you'll spend less time getting ready and more time routing. The Precision Router Lift also brings new levels of precision and simplicity to setting your router bit's cutting depth. Just insert the adjusting crank and give it a turn to raise or lower the bit. Every revolution moves the bit exactly 1/16 of an inch. A built-in micro-adjustment scale adds even greater precision by allowing you to accurately track setup changes down to thousandths of an inch. The scale can be adjusted to 0 at any point in order to establish your baseline bit setup, which makes it easy to tell precisely how far the bit is moving from that point as you raise or lower it, and to return to that exact same baseline setup. Built-in anti-backlash compensation assures that there's no slop when you turn the crank, so you can be confident that even the smallest adjustments are incredibly accurate and precise. Once you have your bit setup dialed in, you can lock the carriage in position to maintain that precision cut after cut. The Precision Router Lift is built for durability with a 3/8-inch thick, hard anodized plate that resists scratching and that won't sag, even under the weight of the biggest routers. Ball bearings, heavy-duty metal parts, and precise manufacturing tolerances ensure years of dependable service too. Other great features include Kreg level lock insert rings to reduce the opening around the bit, and a stainless steel starting pin for routing without a fence. Of course, the Precision Router Lift is compatible with the Kreg Precision Router Table and Benchtop Router Table, and with Kreg's Precision Insert Plate Levelers. Whether you're setting up a new router table, upgrading a table you already own, or building a custom router table from scratch, the Kreg Precision Router Lift is a must-have addition that will allow you to spend less time setting up and more time routing with great results. Visit us online at KregTool.com to learn more about the Kreg Precision Router Lift, as well as our other Kreg routing solutions that give you the ability to shape and enhance raw wood with the control, precision, and reliability you want, plus the ease of use and safety you need, so you can start every project with confidence.
It's a big step for woodworkers when they stop making everything square and start incorporating angles into their projects. One huge part of that challenge is setting the angles correctly on your machinery. But that part of the challenge gets easier when you add Woodpeckers' Drill Press Protractor to your toolbox. Woodpeckers' Drill Press Protractor uses a vernier scale with 5-minute graduations to easily lock in any angle you need. The vernier is engraved on both sides, with degrees and minutes on one side and quarter-degree segments on the other. Choose whichever one you prefer. Setting your drill press table is even easier than setting the angle. Just loosen the table angle lock. Put the drill press protractor in the chuck and lock it. Feed the quill until the base of the drill press protractor is contacting the table and align the table to match. Lock the table and you're all set. Getting your table back to square is just as simple. Just set the drill press protractor to 0 and adjust the table to match. For a quick and accurate check, turn the chuck by hand and make sure the clearance is the same all the way around. But don't stop with your drill press. The drill press protractor is perfect for setting your bandsaw table, your table saw miter gauge, and even a bevel gauge for laying out dovetails and other hand-cut joinery. We mill the protractor from stainless steel and the pivot arm from aircraft-grade aluminum. The arm is then anodized for surface protection. All hardware is also stainless, so you'll enjoy this tool for decades of precision angle work. Like all Woodpeckers products, the drill press protractor is precisely machined and carefully inspected right here in Strongsville, Ohio. Precise angle setup for all of your advanced projects. Order your drill press protractor today.
Looking for a cordless circular saw that combines brushless motor technology with battery innovation? Introducing the world's first cordless 7 1/4-inch rear handle circular saw. It's powered by two 18-volt lithium-ion batteries, so you get 36 volts of power and runtime, but without leaving the 18-volt battery platform. The helical gear system is engineered for better transmission efficiency over current gear styles. With no oil needed and no brushes to replace, that means easy maintenance for you. The Makita-built, electronically controlled brushless motor delivers up to 5,100 RPM for efficient cutting. This new original delivers. It can make up to 558 crosscuts in 2x4 lumber on a single charge. This saw can cut a 3x in a single pass with a full 2 9/16-inch cutting capacity. It also has soft start and an electric brake for maximum productivity. The saw has a die-cast magnesium base and blade guard, which combines durability with less weight. For the most demanding cuts, automatic speed change technology goes to work. This automatically adjusts the speed and torque under load for optimum cutting performance.
We're here in Seattle, Washington, getting ready to start a big research facility. Today we're preparing to create a duct bank to run some temporary power through. It's surprising to have a battery-powered saw that doesn't bog down. The cut's really clean, it's fast, there's no boggy feeling at all, there's no awkward jam feeling that you get as you're running it. Uncanny how well it performs.
I liked it. I like the saw. The fact that it's easy to get your hand on and 2 hands on the saw for better control.
It was great. I love the power of the saw. It's lightweight, perfect for what I do. This is a great feature. Tether it right here. You've got the setup so you don't drop the saw over the edge.
I cut everything with a new saw, you know, it's really nice, really comfortable. Everything is good, the power is really nice, you know. Control, it's exactly what you need. Easy, easy. I buy it, it's sweet. It's very cool, it's very comfortable, and it is good, very strong. Perfect.
The saw features extreme protection technology, engineered for increased dust and water resistance for operation in harsh job site conditions. It's compatible with Makita 18-volt lithium-ion batteries with the fastest charge times in their categories. Makita lithium-ion tools, batteries, and chargers are backed by a 3-year limited warranty.
Without cords, it's almost like you have to retrain your brain to know that there's not a cord there, because so much of your cutting process when you're making long rips have to do with where your cord is.
Equipped with star protection, communication technology between the tool and battery that protects against overload, over-discharge, and overheating. It's part of the Makita 18-volt series, the world's largest 18-volt lithium-ion cordless tool lineup. One LXT system compatible with over 150 solutions.
Thicker, thinner, wider, and cleaner.
Thousands of woodworkers around the country have embraced Woodpeckers' slab flattening mill as the best way to surface live edge slabs. Now we've taken it up a notch with increased thickness range, increased width, highly efficient dust collection, and edge joining capability. The Slab Flattening Mill Pro router carriage adjusts up and down, allowing you to work on thicker and thinner slabs by simply raising or lowering the carriage base, rather than wasting time shimming up the slab or the rails. Check out this range. Work from just a fraction of an inch all the way up to an impressive 3 3/8 of an inch. So how do you know where to set the height? It's simple. If the curtain isn't touching the stock, neither will the router bed. You want the curtain just a little bit compressed. Just support the carriage off the rails, move the pins to the correct slots, lock it down and go. Just like the original, surfacing a slab with the Slab Flattening Mill Pro starts with locating the high point, lowering your bit just below that point, moving back and forth across the slab and repeating until you have a flat surface. And that's not all. With the new lower positions and the included carriage stops, you can mill an edge on your stock that's square to the face and perfectly straight too. Another feature of the new router carriage is integrated dust collection. When we first launched the slab flattening mill, we noticed there were chips everywhere. But now, twin dust collection ports are built right into the carriage, and a tough flexible curtain completely surrounds the cutting area. With the cutting area nearly sealed, dust collection is very efficient and your shop stays cleaner. We also expanded the width capacity to a whopping 48.5 inches when using a 2-inch surfacing bit. You can get the Slab Flattening Mill Pro with a basic length capacity of 58 inches. Or you can get the extended version that has a length capacity of over 11 feet. And if you already have the original slab flattening mill, there's an upgrade option to put the new router carriage on your rails. Woodpeckers Slab Flattening Mill Pro, the perfect solution for surfacing live edge slabs in your own shop.
Woodworking involves a lot of panel finishing, whether that's a cutting board, shelving, a chest lid, or drop leaves like these. You need a way to support the panel for both sanding and finishing, and it sure helps if it gives you access to the edges as well as the faces. And that's where Rockler's bench cookies and a few key accessories can make things a whole lot easier. Let's take a closer look. Now, Rockler's original bench cookies look like this. They had this soft, foam rubber on both faces, similar to a computer mouse pad, and a hard plastic core. Now these did a good job of work holding, but along the way, Rockler's made a design change. They've installed this threaded steel insert into one face, and that's made bench cookies even more versatile. And that's why these are now called Bench Cookie Plus. This threaded insert enables you to screw on one of two different styles of 3/4 inch diameter risers. This style sets your bench cookie flush with your bench in a bench dog hole. The taller riser in this position raises it to twice the bench cookie height, and flipping that tall riser over into the other position raises it to 3 times the original height. The taller riser setup could come in handy when you want to cut a panel with a circular saw or jigsaw. The extra height provides clearance for the saw blade. But for panel sanding, I like the lowest height riser. It locks my bench cookies into my bench so they can't shift around while I'm working. And the grippy textured rubber surface on top keeps my panel from jittering out of place with no extra clamping required. Bench cookies also let you sand the edges and ends of your panels without clamping them vertically in a vise or hanging them over the edge of your bench. And bench cookies with risers make a great platform for finishing too, whether you're wiping, brushing, or even spraying. Then, if you want to finish the back face, you don't have to wait for this face to dry first. There's another bench cookie accessory that can help keep the process moving. These finishing cones snap right onto bench cookies or bench cookie pluses to reduce your surface area from this down to a single point. And now you can flip your panel over and keep on finishing. The cones will keep the bench cookies from sticking to the drying surface underneath and marring the finish. And that's how Rockler's Bench Cookie Plus and a few accessories can help make sanding and finishing your panels a whole lot easier. Rockler offers a master kit that includes 8 Bench Cookie Plus work grippers, 4 standard risers, 8 tall risers, and 8 finishing cones. And there are other bench cookie accessories, like bridges for supporting small parts and ways to connect bench cookies to sawhorses and T-tracks, so be sure to check those out too. I'm Chris Marshall with Woodworkers Journal Magazine, and thanks for watching.
Woodpeckers now has a complete family of adjustable layout tools, all incorporating the same great feature. The heads all lock securely at every full inch along the blades, and all the blades have easy-to-use scribing guides on 16th-inch centers. Woodpeckers has incorporated scribing guides into almost every fixed blade square we've designed over the last dozen years or so. We love them, and with good reason. Most project layouts include lines parallel to the edge of your stock, and there's no easier, more accurate way to put those lines on your stock than by using a scribing guide. But when we decided to make a combination square, we ran into a little bit of a problem. How do you put scribing guides into a blade when it moves along the head? Our clever product engineers came up with the answer. Index the head to every full inch along the blade. Now you can use the scribing guides anywhere along the blade, referenced from any full inch. Once we had the indexing feature perfected, we built it into a full range of heads. The traditional combination square, a protractor head, a centering head, and a double square. And just to make sure every situation in your shop is covered, we added an extra large combination head and an extra large double square. Let's take a look at each of the heads and how it works, starting with the combination square. Our fixed blade squares have always had a lip that prevents the square from rolling over. We wanted our adjustable squares to have the same feature, but we didn't want it to interfere. So check this out. Slide the tab out when you're working on the edge of your stock, and it'll keep the square flat. When you need it out of the way, just slide it back in. 45-degree layout, square layout, and assembly checks. The combination square is one of the most versatile reference tools you can have in your shop. All these same great features are built into the XL combination head, but it's a full inch thick instead of 3/4, and the reference surfaces are longer too. The double square head is a bit more compact than the combination square, making it more convenient to use if you're not dealing with miters. There's an XL model of the double square too, and both the XL and standard size have the same sliding tab feature as the combination squares. The two newest members of the inDexable family are the centering head and the protractor head. The centering head locates the center of circles and squares quickly and accurately. The indexed reference is the flat side, which makes a nice compact scribing tool. The new protractor really takes the inDexable system to another level. The large, easy-to-read protractor is graduated in 1-degree increments. The head adjusts smoothly and locks securely. For standard square and hexagonal angles, there are positive stops. Just thread the pin into the angle you want, bring the blade to the pin, and lock it. When it's locked square, the protractor is a very handy small T-square, perfect for laying out furniture projects. All inDexable heads are available bundled with their most popular blade length. There's also a deluxe set with all the standard sized heads, all 3 blade lengths, and rackets for everything. Or each individual component is available separately if you want to add to a system you already have or want to build your very own custom set. Whether it's bundled with a blade or purchased as a head only, the heads always include a wall-mountable racket to keep your inDexable right in plain sight and ready for work. The inDexables from Woodpeckers, the first real innovation in the combination square since 1878. Order yours today.
All right, I'm down at the workbench now, so let's open this up and see what's inside. Here you go. There's our clamp. Made out of an aluminum alloy, so it's nice and light. Got a nice rubber grip here with some texture, so you can get it real tight. We have a swivel point here and another swivel point here, as you can tell. And that'll just make it real easy to line up our wood. Max it can accommodate is. All right, so I got my tape measure. Looks like if we untwist it all the way, we're going to be able to fit right around 2.75 inches. And not that the height matters so much, but it's about an inch tall from there to there. You can see this also has holes here and here for mounting, and you're also going to have some depth there, obviously. So if you put a bolt through there, that's not going to mess with your clamping abilities. Looks like the largest bolt that you'd want to put in there, if it had bigger than a 1/2 inch depth on the head, that would be a problem. But you're not really going to see that in most bolts, especially something with that diameter. And for diameter, we're looking at just under a 1/2 inch diameter as well for this hole for mounting. So I've cut a couple pieces of wood here. You can see I've done a 45 on each end. So let's just mount them up here in our clamp. So I've got them mounted up now. I'm just going to drill a hole. I'm going to taper that off. I've got my T25 chalked up, and you can just run one of these screws in here now. And just like that, we've got our piece of wood easily mated together using our clamp.
The fastest and most accurate way to lay down a line parallel to the edge of your stock is with Woodpeckers Precision T-Squares. In the machining process and making the blade, we also drill at the same time the holes that join the head to the blade. And these 6 holes here and the 6 screws are very carefully machined in here. The holes in the blade are not exactly in line with the holes in the head. They're off by just a couple thousandths of an inch, so that as the screws are tightened, it pulls this joint into perfect alignment. Another feature is the lip that is formed in the head by this shoulder right here. Where most T-squares, that's just a square edge and it can fall. With ours, that lip keeps you dead flat on your material all the time. So the lip and the head give you a very, very nice feature in using the scale on the T-square. The engraving is very carefully controlled to be right at that edge. So when you bring the edge of the square to the edge of your stock, your 0 point is precisely on the edge of your stock. You'll also notice that the edge of the rule is beveled at 30 degrees. That takes care of parallax and gets the engraving right down next to the stock. So if I want to mark this at 2 inches, it's just that simple to get a very accurate mark. Now, one of my favorite features of the Woodpeckers T-Square are these holes in the center of the blade. These are 1 millimeter holes, very carefully milled on 1/16 inch centers. And if I take a mechanical pencil and put that straight up and down, and then hold the square in against the edge and slide along, I'm going to scribe a mark perfectly 2 inches from the edge of the board. Now, if you're laying out shelf pin holes, the big holes in here are on 1 inch centers. Okay, so if you're laying out shelf pin holes, it's just that simple. So in Woodpeckers catalogs, you'll find that we have 4 versions of this tool. There's one that's 12 inches long. My favorite is the 24 and then a 32. That's 3 different versions in inch scales. And then we have a metric equivalent of 24, which is the TS600. On the inch version, the scribing holes are on 16th centers, and on the metric version, the 600 millimeter, those are in 1 millimeter increments on the scribing hole. Each T-square comes with a wall-mountable racket to keep it protected, but always in plain sight and ready for work. Woodpeckers Precision T-Squares, your perfect shop companion for plywood project layout. Order yours today.
The Milescraft DrillMate allows you to drill straight and angled holes on the edge of a board or even round stock. The all-metal construction provides the precision of a drill press with the ease of a hand drill. To begin assembling the DrillMate, slide both the guide bars into the guide head. Slide the support spring onto one of the guide bars. Then slide the stop collar on the other guide bar, securely tightening the S-style knob. Attach the 2 angle indicators to the bottom of both guide bars. Next, slide the M5 bolts that were provided into the slots on the angle locks. Position both angle locks underneath the main base with the M5 bolts coming up through the angle channel. Secure both guide bars to the M5 bolts, resting the angle indicator in the channel. Securely tighten both knobs. Finally, thread the handle screw into the handle and slip it into the slot on the side of the main base, gently tightening the handle to the base. You are now ready to drill. The DrillMate can be used with either 3/8 of an inch or a 1/2 inch power drill. The base of the DrillMate is made entirely of metal. On either side of the base, there are all metal angle slots that help you set the angle to which you're drilling. On either side of the metal head of the Milescraft DrillMate, there are glide bushings that help you drill smooth and accurate holes. Along with the all-metal head, the DrillMate comes with 2 solid metal rods. In the head of the unit, there are 2 ball bearings that eliminate play when drilling. The first is on the top of the guide head by the shaft, and the other is on the bottom of the guide head by the chuck. The design of the head allows for maximum travel. While using the DrillMate with a spring and depth stop, you can achieve a maximum travel of 6.3 inches. While using the DrillMate without the spring and depth stop, you can achieve a maximum travel of 8.23 inches, allowing you to drill far past the base of the DrillMate. The product comes with a removable depth stop for drilling to a precise depth every time. With the all-metal angle locks, you can drill at angles of 45, 60, 75, and 90 degrees. It also comes with a removable handle for added stability when drilling. The base of this product is very innovative and is self-centering when drilling on narrow stock. On the top of the base, you will find 2 V-groove channels that allow you to drill through round stock without your piece slipping. There are 4 TPE feet to prevent marring and slipping on your workpiece. You can also drill screws through the holes of the base to mount the DrillMate into a secured position. The Milescraft DrillMate is all metal construction and is a very precise and accurate portable drill press.
Take your project building to the next level with a cutting system that delivers the cutting precision and safety you need in an incredibly versatile portable package, the Kreg Adaptive Cutting System. With the Adaptive Cutting System, you can easily cut plywood sheets down to size, plus rip and cross-cut solid wood boards, and so much more. And you can do it with a single cutting center that does the job of multiple tools, and that folds up and rolls out of the way when you need your workspace for other things. At the heart of the Adaptive Cutting System system are the Kreg plunge saw and 62-inch guide track. With those, cutting is as easy as aligning the edge of the track with where you want to cut and then pushing the saw along the track. This guarantees every cut will be straight. Great cuts need to be more than straight, they also need to be smooth. And with the plunge saw and guide track, they will be, thanks to guide strips on the track that hug tight against the 48-tooth carbide tip blade, plus a splinter guard on the saw that minimizes splintering on the other side of the blade. Whether you're using the plunge saw and guide track on their own, or on the Adaptive Cutting System's project table, smooth, straight cuts are ensured with every pass of the saw. The Adaptive Cutting System plunge saw is packed with other features that ensure great results too. That starts with the saw's plunge cutting action. This keeps the blade completely shrouded until you release the plunge lock and squeeze the trigger to plunge the blade to your preset depth. At the same time, a riving knife plunges down behind the blade to prevent the blade from binding, burning, or kicking back. A selectable anti-kickback feature also prevents the saw from moving backward, for even greater confidence-inspiring safety. Safety is further assured because both of your hands are on the saw, well away from the blade that's buried in your workpiece instead of exposed. Handles on the plunge saw provide a solid grip on the saw as the soft start, variable speed motor starts without jerking, and as you guide the plunge saw confidently along the guide track. At the end of your cut, the blade retracts completely into the saw, while an electronic brake quickly stops the spinning blade. Plunge saw also allows you to easily set cutting depth, up to 2 1/8 inch, as well as bevel angles from -1 to 47 degrees. The plunge saw minimizes the cutting mess by containing dust inside the shroud and pushing it into the included high-performance dust bag. The Adaptive Cutting System's 62-inch long guide track guides the plunge saw perfectly for every cut. In addition to the anti-chip strip that minimizes splinters as you cut, the track has a pair of grip strips on the underside that hold the track in place without clamps in almost all cuts. Up top, glide strips keep the saw moving smoothly along the track. A cord manager keeps the saw cord under control and does the same if you have connected a vacuum hose. If you need additional cutting capacity, you can add another guide track using optional connectors for a total length of 124 inches. When you're ready to take your cutting capability to an even higher level, put your guide track on the Adaptive Cutting System project table. The project table turns the plunge saw and guide track into a complete cutting system that you can use to conquer all your cuts in plywood and solid wood. Just roll the project table into place, fold down the heavy-duty stand, and you're ready to go. The project table offers solid support for your workpieces, whether they're small boards or large panels. But that's just the beginning. The project table's hinges hold the guide track in place. All you have to do is position your workpiece underneath, lower the track, and you're ready to cut. The project table ensures that all those cuts are precise and controlled using integrated guides that all come with the table to support and position workpieces. Holes that are precisely machined into the project table accept aluminum versus stops. Place a board against 2 stops and you'll know it's positioned for an exact 90-degree crosscut or a perfect 45-degree miter. Measuring systems and additional stops integrated into the project table ensure that you can make every cut accurately and repeatably too. Repetitive stops lock in place to set perfect cutting lengths for cross cuts and rip cuts, whether they're wide or narrow, and whether the pieces are long or short. A 48-inch extension even allows you to set measurements that are greater than the width of the project table top. When your projects call for angles other than 90 or 45 degrees, the miter guide makes it easy to dial in the exact angle you need to cut any project part with confidence. Thanks to its integrated guides and measuring scales, the Adaptive Cutting System gives you the ability to make all your cuts precisely, whether you are cutting one piece or many. If you're working with full sheets or long boards on a regular basis, you can add additional workpiece support with optional project table extension brackets that let you expand the table using a Kreg Mobile Project Center or track horse. And when you want to use your plunge saw and guide track to make cuts off the project table, you can take that measuring accuracy with you using 2 more great Adaptive Cutting System accessories: rip guides for narrow cuts and parallel guides for wide cuts. Wherever you work, wherever you build, and whether you're building with solid wood or plywood, the Kreg Adaptive Cutting System offers versatile cutting capabilities and superior cutting performance that will help you take your projects to the next level. Visit us online at kregtool.com to learn more about the Adaptive Cutting System.
Hey everyone, I'm super excited. HARDELL has sent me this cordless rotary tool to check out, and I'm super excited about it. So it is a 4-volt, 2000 milliamp hour lithium ion battery with 5 different speeds, 61 accessories, multiple functions, USB-C charging, and of course, it says DIY first choice, but we're actually going to put that to the test in this video. While they did send it to me, there are no strings attached to this particular review, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my box opener on my Gerber dime here, and I'm going to open up the top. Okay, so first off, it looks like it's in a nice little case here. Nothing else in the box, so everything is in this case, which I do like when that happens. So I can hear the pieces going around. Has some nice branding. This is actually kind of like, it's a soft shell, but it's rigid, so it's not gonna like get crushed or anything. It's not soft package, but it's not like super hard. Okay, so just opened it up here. Let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. So we can actually look at what we've got. So the first thing is we have some attachments here. So these are like polishing brushes, grinding brushes. You have some different attachments to hook something into it. You have a cutting blade. That looks pretty cool right there. Yeah, so just various attachments. You have drill bit attachments as well if you're drilling into like jewelry and things. And then this one looks like your sanding kit. So you have sanding discs. You have the sanding cylinders right there as well. And these are rubber banded too, just in case. But they also have like a locking mechanism there. Pretty sturdy. Let's actually open one of these up really quick. So like that. And then let's see if it just opens up. Okay, it looks like the hinge is on the back. So let's go ahead. Yeah, it looks like we just lift up. And then yeah, so it locks in pretty good, but I'm happy for the rubber band because you never know when it's getting shipped, right? Now we have the charging cable, so it's USB-A to USB-C right there. Then we have the unit, and then of course we have the actual, like the instructions here. Operator manual, looks like a pretty good size pamphlet, as you can see. It talks about all the different buttons and features on the actual rotary tool itself, as well as all of the instructions that you need. Several QR codes in there too, which could be helpful. And then here again is the rechargeable unit. So there we go. It looks like this is the part you push in this, which allows you to, you know, loosen or tighten the different accessories onto it. It looks like this is the, ooh, okay. It immediately started spinning and this little light came on. So if I push the power button, the light comes on and it immediately starts spinning up top here. And then there is a plus and minus button there. So if I push this, let me see, you can hear that. And I'm gonna push the speed up. And I'm gonna push it. Oh yeah, you can hear it, right? It's going up, now it's going down. Okay, so that is pretty cool. So you can actually have some pretty granular things there. So if you're working with a softer material and you don't want to go in very fast, you could definitely adjust that speed. It adjusts very quickly, as you probably heard on my microphone. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up and then we'll go to test. All right, so I have a piece of tile here that I'm gonna scratch up. We were using this for tests for some of the things earlier. So I have this, it's like this like burr end. It's like pretty scratchy. And I'm gonna put it in there. So I've loosened this up and you push this little button until it locks all the way down. And then you insert the particular bit that you want, and then you tighten it down, make sure it's tightened down pretty good. Okay, that is tightened down in there, and then you just like turn the power on, and like right now it is full strength. You can see all those lights, but if I hit down, yeah, so the lights go down. So we're gonna go ahead and change this on a medium setting. It is spinning there. I don't know if you can pick that up. And then I'm gonna put this up right here, and then we're gonna, oh, you can actually see it. Yeah, that's going in there pretty good. See if I can lay it on its side a little bit more, like use more of it. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is actually doing pretty good on a medium set. Let's go ahead and turn it all the way up. Make sure it's tight. So again, I'm going to push this button down and turn this until it locks. There it goes. I'm going to tighten it, and we're going to turn it back on, and we're going to turn it all the way up. So all those lights are on. Let me zoom in a little bit here, and then I'm going to leave this down on the ground, and I'm going to... Yeah, that's working very well. That's etching well into this tile. Okay, let me turn it off. Okay, that's quick stop too. It almost immediately stopped. And then I'm gonna bring this up really close. Yeah, so that I could feel that with my finger. Not bad. I did not charge this at all. It came with a little bit of charge. Obviously that might not be the case for you. But if you are in the market for a USB-C chargeable rotary tool, then this one from HARDELL might be the one for you. And like I said, I'm super appreciative to HARDELL for sending this to me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Red Tool Woodshop. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at Woodpecker's new router plane that was released in the late fall of 2024. I'll show you how all the adjustments on the blade mechanism work, how to move the blade to 3 different locations, how to sharpen the blade, and how to install and use the fence. Alright, let's get started. Let's first check out the blade mechanism. Now, when your router plane arrives, everything will be all assembled, dialed in, and your blade will be perfectly sharp and ready to cut. But to show you how everything goes together, I've disassembled the blade mechanism so you can see how it all works. The 1/2 inch wide blade is machined in a way to create this raised beveled profile. The shaft features the same profile, but it's inset. So when you attach the blade to the shaft, everything lines up perfectly. Notice the flats machined on 4 sides of the shaft. These flats allow the double wedge locking mechanism to lock the blade securely in all 4 90-degree increments. If you're wondering what the double wedge locking mechanism is, well, here's a look at everything assembled, and here's a look at everything disassembled. The wedge with the single recess goes on the screw first, with the wedge side facing up, then followed by the spring. This other wedge features a double recess with threads on one side. Place that one on top with the wedge side facing down. Then compress the spring and turn the screw to secure everything in place. You'll see as you turn the screw, the 2 wedges draw towards one another. This design allows for the blade to automatically be drawn to the nearest 90-degree location as you tighten the locking mechanism. If you'd like to rotate the blade further, loosen the locking knob a little more than you normally would. Then rotate the blade by hand so it's close to another 90-degree position. Then tighten the locking knob and the double wedge will draw the blade into position. Now let's backtrack a little bit and see how to install the locking mechanism. To install it, just slide it in this hole on the side of the aluminum body, but make sure the 2 wedges are facing up. Now it doesn't matter if you're right or left-handed. You can install the locking mechanism so the knob is conveniently placed on whichever side you prefer. Once it's in position, slide the shaft up through the bottom. If you'd like the depth stop to be installed, you can go ahead and slide that on now. Then rotate the shaft so it can seat into the recess on the depth adjustment. The depth adjustment is one of the features on this router plane that you will love. The split nut design and fine pitch screw practically eliminates any backlash as you turn the knob to raise and lower the blade. The blade assembly can be mounted to the base in 3 different positions, with the blade facing either in or out in each position. To install it, simply position it where you'd like and secure it in place using the included screw and Allen wrench. With the blade facing inwards, you'll get support on all 4 sides of the blade. Whether you're pushing or pulling, the tool is well balanced for grooves and short dados. With the blade facing outwards, there's plenty of sole behind the blade and there's no obstructions in front of the blade, which makes it easy to plane into stopped grooves that you wouldn't otherwise be able to reach. The blade mechanism can also be moved to 2 other locations by swapping the position of one of the handles and the blade. To do that, just loosen the screw to remove the handle and replace it with the blade mechanism facing either inside or outside of the body. The handle you removed can be reinstalled in the open spot. With the router plane in this position, you can dial in the thickness of tenons by removing material going with the grain instead of across the grain, and this leaves you with a much smoother finish. To create consistent grooves, pockets, and tenons, you'll most definitely want to utilize the depth stop. You can lock this in place either by hand or with the included Allen wrench, firmly tighten it in place. Whichever option you choose, just make sure to tighten it against one of the flat sides on the shaft. Next, let's take a look at the optional fence add-on kit. The fence is made out of 3/8 inch solid phenolic and has 2 guide rods that allow the fence to slide back and forth. You can install the fence in 3 different locations here on the router plane. To install it, place the 2 guide rods in the slots and secure them in place with the included screws. In this current orientation, you can position the fence up to 6.5 inches away from the edge of the blade, or you can slide the fence under the base right next to the blade. To position the fence up to an extra 3 3/4 inches away from the blade, you can move the guide rod mounting blocks to the secondary location. If you're using the fence to reference a curved edge, you can flip the fence around to use the 2-point reference on the other side. If you prefer a shop-made fence instead, you can easily attach it to the base using these 4 countersunk holes. Lastly, let's check out how to go about sharpening the blade. Since the blade removes completely from the shaft, there's no complicated jigs that are necessary to sharpen it. Your blade will come perfectly sharp from the factory. But to touch it up after some use, I like to use a 6,000 grit sharpening stone and a leather strop with some honing compound. To sharpen the square blade, I'll make about 20 passes in both directions on the stone, while keeping the blade pressed down to follow the angle. Then I wipe off the blade on a towel and do about 10 passes on my leather strop, only applying pressure as I pull the blade towards me. To remove the small burr created on the bottom side from sharpening, I'll flip the blade over and make about 5 passes on the bottom. You may choose to do more passes while you're sharpening, depending on how dull your blade is. But you'll know it's back to razor sharp if you can slice through a piece of paper like this. To sharpen the spear point blade, you'll follow a similar procedure. Since the cutting edge has a bevel, you'll want to sharpen just one side at a time, making sure to only apply pressure while pulling the blade towards you. Here I'm doing about 10 passes on one side of the bevel and 10 passes on the other. However many you do, just make sure to do an equal amount on the other side. Once that was done, I did 5 passes on each side on the leather strop, and then finally remove the burr by making a few light passes on the bottom of the blade. It doesn't take much to get either blade for your router plane back to razor sharp. Well guys, that about wraps up this video on the Woodpeckers router plane. But before we go, I wanted to let you know that there is also a secondary option available for this tool, and it's made by Blue Spruce. The Blue Spruce router plane has the exact same features and functions as the Woodpeckers router plane. Only difference being that the handles are made out of Bolivian rosewood instead of Woodpeckers red anodized aluminum. You'll also notice that the anodizing on the blade mechanism is clear on this option instead of red. Whichever router plane you choose, you will surely not be disappointed, as both of these are fantastic options. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about this tool, please leave them in the comment section below. If you'd like to pick up either of these router planes, there's direct links to both of them in the description box below. Thanks so much guys for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Red Tool Woodshop.
For more than 30 years, Kreg has set the standard in pocket hole jigs. Now we've reimagined our pocket hole jigs from the ground up to make them work even better, to match where and how you build even better, and to help you achieve project results that are even better. The Kreg Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro is the most advanced pocket hole jig yet, and it's packed with features that make it possible for you to build projects faster and more efficiently than ever. It's the fastest, most efficient pocket hole jig and comes with everything you need. This setup will make building projects using pocket hole joints faster than ever. Plus, the Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro comes with the Kreg docking station to create the ultimate benchtop pocket hole workstation. The docking station attaches to the jig to provide more workpiece support, a material stop, plus built-in storage. And it all folds up against the sides of the Pocket Hole Jig 720 when the jig isn't in use. The Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro looks like no pocket hole jig before, and it performs like no other too. That's because the Kreg Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro is equipped with exclusive AutoMax one-motion clamping. Just place your material in the jig, any solid wood or plywood from 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches thick, and then press down on the handle. The Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro does the rest, clamping against the wood and automatically positioning the drill guides perfectly to position the pocket holes exactly in your workpiece. One-motion clamping sets the drill guides for every material thickness, every time. This means you can work faster and more efficiently than ever before. Setting the pocket hole drill bit is easy too, thanks to etch markings for common thicknesses of 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1.5 inches, and a sight window in the stop collar. Just line up the stop collar and lock it down. If you're working with hardwoods or other materials of different thicknesses, you can use the scale that's built into the jig to set the stop collar at precise 1/8 inch increments. Alongside that scale, you'll even find onboard storage for the pocket hole drill bit, the included 6 inch and 3 inch square drive bits, and the material thickness gauge. At the same time, a large GripMax anti-slip surface grips the wood to hold it in place securely, without the need for heavy clamping pressure and without marring your wood. The Kreg Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro gives you complete control over clamping force too, so you can dial in as little or as much as you need. The Kreg Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro also comes with a dust collection blade. Slide it in from either side and connect to a vacuum hose, and sawdust and debris will get pulled out of the way as you drill. This does more than just help minimize the mess. Pulling the chips out of the way helps you drill pocket holes faster too. The Kreg Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro isn't just built to work fast and work well, it's also built to last. with a steel reinforced spine, a steel and cast aluminum clamping mechanism, and durable impact-resistant polymer construction, plus lifetime warranted hardened steel drill guides. That means you can rely on your Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro to be with you for a lifetime of project building. The Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro makes it easy to get started too, whether this is your first pocket hole jig or you've been building with Kreg for years. We've included packs of 2 of the most popular sizes of Kreg pocket hole screws, enough to build an entire project, and we've even thrown in a complete project plan. With the docking station, the Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro is the ultimate benchtop pocket hole workstation. When you want to reconfigure the 720 Pro to work with materials of different sizes and shapes though, you can remove the jig from the docking station. That allows you to use the jig vertically or horizontally, so you can rotate it 90 degrees and drill pocket holes in either position. While the Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro is amazingly capable on its own, there are a couple of accessories that can make it even more capable. There's also a micro pocket drill guide for the 720 Pro. It swaps into place when you want to drill smaller pocket holes that are perfect for thinner materials like 1/2-inch drawer sides, for narrow workpieces, to make drilling easier in super hard woods, or when you want the smallest, easiest to hide pocket hole possible. The custom plug cutter drill guide kit fits into the Pocket Hole Jig 720 to allow you to create your own pocket hole plugs using wood left over from your project. This means you can match the plug color to your project exactly, and because the plugs have face grain on the end, you can even match grain to hide the plugs better than ever before. The custom plug cutter comes with a bit for creating standard size pocket holes, and you can get a bit that creates plugs for micro pocket holes too, and even large plugs that work with the Kreg Jig HD. With all these great features and accessories, the Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro is the most advanced benchtop pocket hole jig yet. You'll build projects faster than ever, with results that will meet and exceed your expectations. Because the 720 Pro is from Kreg, you know it's built to last and backed by the #1 pocket hole brand.
Will the SF Pro fit my Rockler router tabletop?
I'd buy this in a heartbeat to fit my saw stop.
I'd love to see a carrier plate option that works with tables other than Woodpeckers.
For decades, customers have wanted to fit Woodpeckers router table fences to other brands of router table, and all too often, the answer was, no, it won't fit. Until now. Now, with only a few exceptions, the answer is, yes it will. The SF Pro Universal adds a compact central micro adjustment and adjustable spacing of the mounting knobs to the feature set of our original SF Pro. If your router table has mounting tracks with any spacing between 16 3/4 inches and 33 1/4 inch, center to center, the SF Pro Universal will fit. This includes most router tables with slots milled directly into the table, and most tables with tracks mounted to the edge, like the SawStop freestanding cast iron router table and the Jessam router tables. Once you've locked in the spacing, it stays right there, and the fence bolts have a shoulder to keep them aligned to your table grooves. Installing and removing your fence just couldn't be easier. Once it's on your router table, you'll start to notice the other great features. Both infeed and outfeed fences have micrometer adjustments, and at the center of it all, a 3rd micrometer dial controls both fence halves. Hiding under the center micro adjustment locks are 4 bearings, 2 on each side. These keep the fence perfectly aligned and completely eliminate any racking while you're micro adjusting the entire fence. All 3 micro adjusters have scales with both inch and metric graduations, and the knobs themselves are divided in 1/1000th of an inch graduations that are nearly 1/8 of an inch apart. Sneaking up on a perfect fitting joint has never been easier. The front of the fence includes the features you've come to expect from a Woodpeckers router table fence. Super Track extrusions give you smooth adjustment for the bit opening. If you need a precise fit between your bit and the fence, a pair of sacrificial MDF faces are included. Woodpeckers variable pressure feather boards work with or without the sacrificial faces, as do our Super Track stops. Today's woodworking shop revolves around the router table, and no matter which router table you use, Woodpeckers or another brand, there's no finer fence than Woodpeckers SF Pro Universal. Order yours today.
And that's your roundup of the best new woodworking tools on the market right now. Whether you're upgrading your shop or just getting started, we hope this gave you some solid direction. If this video helped you out, hit that like button and subscribe for more tool reviews every week. Have a question or a favorite new tool? Let me know in the comments. All links are in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.